Hello, I'm Myranda Love, the CEO and founder of Ninja Growth Strategies, and I am coming to you live right now. And I'm going to be sharing this to the art of attracting high-ticket clients. And I'm the CEO and founder of Ninja Growth Strategies, and joining us here in just a minute is our expert, and we're going to be covering the topic of handling sales objections. Handling sales objections and overcoming objections, some of the most common excuses that we've been given. So I don't know if you can see right behind me, we have the sign that says you can't deposit excuses. Listen, that is so true. You cannot deposit excuses. So if you're getting a lot of excuses, I'm going to share this to our page. So if you're getting a lot of excuses, and with your clients, and whenever you're your prospects and your clients on the phone. Hi, Curtis. Good to see you.
How are you?
Awesome. So I'm sharing this right now into the group, The Art of Attracting High Ticket Clients. And so if you're getting a lot of excuses about your sales, then we, from your prospects, then listen up. That's what we're going to be covering. And Coach Curtis I'm so blessed and fortunate to have Coach Curtis to be to be here with us now. There we go. I'm sharing this in our group. So if you are not in our free group yet, that's where we do normally go live on there, The Art of Attracting High Ticket Clients. And so Coach Curtis has got 20 years of experience in coaching. His background is in sales, and he helped form and start Tony Robbins' sales team back in the day, like 20 years ago, right?
Yeah. I was one of the founding coaches for Tony. So Tony personally recruited me, trained me, and I was one of the first coaches to help Tony build and launch his coaching organization. Sorry, that paused out there for a second. And sell his coaching the first few years, and then went off on my own, helping other gurus and leaders like yourself.
Yeah, wonderful. We've been great. You've been a great asset to our team here and helping to coach our clients as well on sales objections. And so I don't know if it resonates with you who's watching this videos. If you're watching this, say hi, or yeah, I'm getting a lot of objections and tgoing you so much for doing this. Or if you're watching on the replay, then they say hashtag replay viewer. But we're going to go ahead and dive into some of the top common objections that we get we get as a coach. You're going to get you're going to get some objections, and as I call them, excuses, because most of the time it really is just excuses. And what's bad about it is it's really keeping people stuck. If you're a coach or consultant and your prospect has reached out to you for help and you got them on the phone, and then they're just telling you, let me think about it, or I need to talk to my wife or husband, or, I don't make decisions on the phone like this, or I'm investigating some other programs, or wow, that was more expensive than what I thought it was going to be. Those are some of or we also get that sometimes people think that they're not ready for our program. And honestly, that's what our program is designed for, is to help coaches and consultants get ready, get that clarity that they need. So a lot of times they'll just stay kind of spinning their wheels. So those are some of the common objections that we get here, and that we handle those all the time. And so definitely wanted to bring on Coach Curtis here to share his wisdom, and we'll kind of have some conversations here, so that way you can be able to attract and convert and enroll more high ticket clients, because that way you can be depositing real cash into the bank instead of excuses, and you'll actually get to start helping your clients make that transformation, because the sale doesn't start until the transformation doesn't start until the sale is made, right, Curtis?
That's right. You can't help people if you can't enroll them into your program or sell them your product. So yeah. So do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead and take the floor. 20 years or more experience in high ticket coaching sales. Curtis is going to take the floor.
Cool. Thanks, Myranda. Yeah. And like she said, if you have any questions, or maybe there is a objection. It's funny, right? I couldn't say that word because I don't think of objections, right? So it was like finding that word actually was difficult for a second there. But if you have any objections you're experiencing, type them in the comments, whether you're live or, you know, in the replay, and I'll be happy to reach out to you and help you with that and help you overcome those. So that's what we're doing here. We just want to add value to you. And you know, if you're a coach, let's get people coached, right? You can't coach people if you can't get them into your program. You know, if you're a consultant or an expert, you can't help anyone if you can't get them into your program. Same thing. But the number one reason, so we're talking about objections today. So the number one reason why you get objections is because you break what we call rapport. Sorry about that. For some reason, every time I'm live, people start messaging me, right? Every time they message you, it stops the live. So I don't know what's going on with Facebook there. So anyway, so and that's hilarious to me because I'm live on Facebook and they're messaging me. So I obviously know those people are probably prospecting me for some opportunity because they're not really interested in talking to me. Because if they were, they'd be on my page, right? And they would know. They would know we're live. So anyway, so hopefully they stop for a second. But anyways, the number one reason you experience objections or hesitations or whatever you want to call it with your program, and let me know if I get cut off because there's like 3 people messaging me right now. They won't stop.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, good. So the number one reason is that we break rapport. That's typically why that objection comes up, because think about it. If you know, you buy from people you know, like, and trust, right? So if you trust them, you're going to take their advice. If they tell you to do something and that you have a high level of rapport with them, they're going to move forward. They're going to listen to you. They're going to take your advice, right? Like we all take Miranda's advice because we trust her. She's the expert. And that's how we get, you know, Myranda gets a lot of our rapport. She is the expert. She knows what she's doing. So we're going to listen to her. We're going to take her advice. That's one way of developing rapport. You know, rapport is really just a feeling of commonality between you and the other person, that they feel you're similar to them or somewhat like them, or at least have their best interest in mind. Can you hear that, Myranda?
Yes.
You can hear that noise? Okay, I'm not sure what it is.
No, I can't hear the noise. I can hear you.
Okay, all right, there was some static coming through. So anyways, so that's, you know, that's the biggest part. So you always want to operate under the umbrella of rapport. It's kind of like, you know, they have things called stage selling or stair selling or step selling, whatever terminology they want to use, but it's literally, you know, walking your customer or client or prospect through the different phases and through the different steps that leads to you being able to help them, right? And the only way you can help them is get them into your program. So along that whole path, you need to make sure that you are holding and they are under the umbrella of rapport. If you break that rapport with them, you need to step back and reestablish that rapport. And you can usually hear that, you know, if you're talking on the phone, you can hear maybe a little disconnect. They're like going, yeah, you know, and you feel it, you can hear it in their tonality. So you got to make sure and check back in with them and not keep talking, right? If you talk too much, you just keep talking, you can totally lose that rapport. Now they're just stepping back and listening to some presentation, and you want it to be a conversation, not just a presentation, right? So make sure you're maintaining that rapport. If you learn to maintain that rapport, keep that rapport throughout the process, you'll get a lot less objections. And any of the objections you get, they'll be more open to you working with them to overcome those objections. Would you agree, Myranda?
I do. And I just definitely had an aha there, you know, back whenever I was doing my own sales. I would pick up on something, but I would just keep going. So how do you handle that then? So if you hear something and somebody's like, just, you know, you're in your gut, something, you're like what you were just saying, it feels like something's off. Then, so how do you do it? Do you just stop and you ask them, or how would you do that instead of just continuing on with your presentation?
Yeah, so the easiest way is to engage someone is to ask them a question. So it's, you know, you can say things like, now, you know, if I sense they're maybe getting off track, or I'm losing them a little bit. I mean, you can sense this. If they're not really like, yeah, okay, yes, I agree. And they're like, I guess, or okay, yeah, their tonality changes. They kind of close down. Just ask them a question. Say, okay, so did I explain that correctly? Or let me make sure I'm understanding where you're at, and just kind of go back a step. You can even just stop in the process and back up a little. It of course makes the presentation or the conversation a little bit longer, but what's most important is that you maintain that rapport in that conversation. And nobody's perfect. I've done it, many times, still do it once in a while, where I'll forget that. I'll forget to maintain the rapport, and I'm guessing, I'm assuming that they're going along with me, right? Because what most people do. And and sometimes I got to remind myself, well, wait a minute, go back and make sure they're walking along with me. So you just ask them a question, and it depends on where you are in the process, but an easy one would be, where are you with this so far? Or do you see how, for example, do you see how this could help you solve X, Y, Z, right? So for example, do you see how this program could help you get those consistent leads that you've been struggling to get for so long? And then listen to what they say. If they say, yeah, well, you got to go back. You got to maybe go back to the previous section and just say, okay, so what's going on with you? Or, what's going on? What are you thinking about? Right? Or where are you in this conversation? Just ask them, right? And they'll tell you, say, well, and they'll kind of share with you where they're at. And then you can start that rapport, maybe just reconnect with them, listen to them, repeat back to them what they said, and then continue on in the presentation.
I've heard you say before, something like, I'm picking up on something there, or what's the hesitation? Like that's kind of how, in your calls, whenever you're picking up on something or you're noticing that there's a hesitation, so you kind of call them out on it in some ways.
Yeah.
You're picking up on something uncomfortable or something isn't right with them. And so instead of just stuffing it down and continuing on, you're like, hey, I'm picking up on something. What's the hesitation here? Is that how you do it?
That's right. You have to address it, because, like I said, it's if they're not in rapport with you, you are going to be in a lot of trouble when you try to present your offer to them. You don't have rapport. It's like being on a car lot with the car salesman, and he's over here talking about the car, and you're walking over here looking at another car, right? And now they're trying to pitch you on the sales price of the car, and you're over here looking at some other car, because they've lost you. They're completely lost, right? So you got to go back and get them and say, oh, do you like this car? No, I like that car, but you were ignoring me, or whatever, right? So, okay, well, let's go back and look at that car, or let's just get the keys and take it for a drive. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. You got to, just check in with them. Call them out on it and say, well, what's going on with you? Do you not want a car? Do you not want a truck? Do you not, is this program for you? Or do you think this program's for you? You don't want to present any type of offer if you don't have rapport with that customer. You might as well just call it a night, right? Learn to develop and maintain that rapport. I've done it for so long, it just kind of comes where I can sense almost like a sense, right? Where, I mean, if you do enough calls, you'll get the same thing where you can sense, are they engaged with me? Do they feel comfortable with me? Do they trust me? You'll just hear that or see that in their body language and through their tonality.
I think that's great. So really, we're talking about overcoming objections here, but I love the way that you're bringing it back to, let's don't even get to any objections. Is if you fall out of rapport at some point during the call, then you need to handle that there. And then that's how you're going to overcome the objections, is because it's really going to decrease your chance of even having any objections.
That's right.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's the first step. That's the first phase. Making sure that you can develop. Without that, you have nothing. Without rapport, you got nothing. Because even when they get into your program or buy your product or your service, you're gonna want them to be your friend. That's what you want to do. You want to develop a friendship with your clients. so that they so that they stay with you long term. They, send you referrals, that type of stuff. So once you learn how to develop rapport and you maintain that rapport, then, you do the presentation, and let's say now you start getting those objections. So you make the offer and they're like, I can't afford it. So there's a couple responses that are very simple to do to help you with that. So as Myranda said, those are usually what I call hesitations because they're thinking about something. It's maybe a fear they have or some type of subconscious language or a pattern that's stopping them from moving forward. Maybe they've made decisions and fast decisions in the past and they're afraid to do that, and that's a habit they have. So it's not you, it's not your offer usually. As long as you have the rapport, it's either they don't believe they can do it, they might not believe it will work, that type of stuff. And that's usually because of their past, right? It's their past experiences coming up and getting in the way. So all you got to do is help them through that or help them over that. And the easiest way to do that is just say, tell me more about that. So if they say, well, I can't afford it. Okay, well, tell me more about that. And because you really need to uncover what
I know,
I
Wi-Fi.
apologize, I skipped this step. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, so the other reason is you haven't found the leverage for them to want what you're offering them. So that's number two. So number one's rapport, and number two is finding that leverage, that pain point that you're going to solve, right? And steering up that pain, because a lot of times we as human beings, we mask our pains, we mask certain emotions, we mask things that we don't want to deal with, and we hallucinate that things are better than they are. Okay, so if you're talking to, for example, a prospect who is having trouble closing sales, for example, you need to help make them more aware of that problem, because usually they don't think it's as bad as it is. It's kind of like going to a doctor. Usually the doctor will they won't just ask you, where does it hurt? They'll say, here, no, here, ow, 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 and they'll keep pushing until they find the exact point where it really, really hurts you. And they're not doing that to be mean or cruel. They want to find the exact pain point that they need to fix, that they need to solve. So that's what we're doing here in the area of sales. We want to find that ouch for your client, that pain point for your client. We need to find that and help them feel the ouch, feel it, a little bit more. And the easiest way to do that, again, is question. So you're telling me that you're just having a little bit of difficulty closing sales. Yeah, I'm at whatever percent, or I close 2 out of 10 or whatever. Okay, great. Tell me more about that. And that's a way to get them to open up a little bit more and share a little bit more in detail. And then they'll say something like, well, when I get to the close, right, I get this objection a lot, and I can't afford it. I don't have the money or whatever. They're going to tell you the exact pain point. And then you ask them, well, what is that costing you right now? Right? Now, financially, emotionally, in your family, what's going on? How is this affecting you? How is this affecting your family? Maybe if they have children, you can say, how's this affecting your kids? You not being able to close those sales. What's going to happen if that continues? Right, kind of like a doctor would do. If you don't get this fixed today, right? You don't fix that tooth or whatever, get the surgery done. What's going to happen in a week or a month from now? What's your life going to look like? So you want to do what we call future pace, is bring that pain to them so they really understand, wow, if I don't get this is actually pretty bad. It's worse than I thought, because it actually does affect my children, because they don't think about that. They just say, well, I didn't make a sale today. Instead of making that, you want them to realize that, wow, what's going to happen if you don't fix this right now? Well, my kids aren't going to eat this week, right? Or I'm not going to be able to pay for their school next year, or get them school supplies. Coming up here in Florida is a school starts here in I think a month. So it's like, okay, you need to be ready for your kid's school. So don't you think it's a good idea to get this fixed now? So you want them to agree with you. You want them to understand what the real problem is, and feel that pain. And then what you do is you walk in with the Band-Aid, right? You come in with the solution. So they know, they understand, you've built rapport. They understand the pain that they're experiencing and what it's going to cost them, what they're going to miss out on if they don't fix it. And then you offer the Band-Aid or the solution, right? Now, at that point, you have rapport, you've uncovered the pain that they're experiencing so you can fix it for them. And they say, I don't have the money. That could be an objection. It could be real. But if you make that pain so excruciating that they must fix it now, they'll usually find a way. It's kind of like if you said, if you don't fix this right now, your kids won't eat today, right? They're going to do a little more to fix that than if you just say, well, it's not a big deal. Maybe next month it'll be better, right? So you want to help them understand that. And if you do that, you'll get less of those objections. But then if they do say something like, well, I can't afford it, there's a few things you can do. You can say, well, tell me a little more about that. That's the easiest way to handle that objection, because you want them to share more. You want to find out the true underlying objection. Maybe it's they have the money, they're just afraid to spend it. Or maybe they have something coming up that they have been saving for, and a bit of money saved up, and they don't want to spend it all because they're worried something might happen, right? There's lots of different reasons, and you want to uncover that first, because then that will allow you to handle whatever the real issue is. That making sense so far, right?
Yeah,
So,
that makes a lot of sense. So what I'm hearing you say is you're just you're isolating the objections, or you're really
right,
digging deeper into, so tell me more. I can't afford that. So, tell me more about that. And then taking it from there. And honestly, like, in our program here at Ninja Growth Strategies, where we help experts be able to attract clients and make more money, online using LinkedIn, a lot of them, by the time that they are coming to us, they've been at it for a while. And so they are struggling financially. So whenever we get the objection, I can't afford it. I mean, we assume that they're
right.
going to be in a situation before. And so it's really, kind of turning that maybe a little bit more, or why can't you afford it? Is it a mindset issue? Or, that sort of stuff is what it sounds like you're saying. It's just really kind of diving into it a little bit deeper and asking more questions.
Right, exactly. And now you can address it. So if it really is, they haven't saved up the money to maybe get your program or get into your program, now it's a concern of, how important is it to them to solve that problem? Are they willing to get out of their comfort zone? Maybe they need to go sell something, right? Maybe they have a second car that they don't need, right? It's really, how bad do they want that solution to their problem? And that's why we talked about, it's very, very important to uncover that pain, because if they don't feel the pain, and it does come to the end where it's an issue of, wow, I'm not prepared to pay today because I don't have the money. Now you can use that leverage. And what you're doing here, this isn't influence or persuasion. You're really helping them, right? Mm-hmm. You want them to have the solution to their problems. You want to change their life. And the only way you can do that is to help them through their stuff, right? The stuff that gets in their way from stepping up into their greatness and, getting your course or your program. So one thing I've used, and before I forget, I wanted to bring this up. One term I learned that's changed my life is, wow, if you can't afford this, then you must. My original mentor, Tony Robbins, taught me that. He said, and I forgot about that for a while, and I said, wow, that's something that's really run my life, is if I can't afford something, then I must. Which that means is, if you're in a position where you can't afford that, and it's something that's going to change and improve your life, you got to do whatever you got to do to make it happen. Right? And those are the types of people that we like to work with, people that are serious, about changing their life. they really want to hit that income goal, get to 25K to 50K a month, with their clients, with their programs. And in order to do that, you got to be willing to face your fears. You got to be willing to step up, step out of your comfort zone. As long as you're willing to do that, we can help you do that. You just have to be willing to do it, and some people aren't. They're more committed to their fears than they are the solution, right? Or your program or the coaching or whatever it is you're offering them. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. If you can't afford it, then you absolutely must. You got to do whatever you can think of. There's all different. You can get resourceful. It's about getting resourceful. If you're committed, you'll find a way. Right? That's another belief that I took on a long time ago. If you're 100% committed, you'll find a way no matter what. So if you're getting these objections, then they're just not committed, right? They're not as committed as they need to be. So you need to isolate that objection and help them get more committed to the solution. So I had a couple notes. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything here. Yeah, so I covered that. Now, here's another thing for the money objection. So, okay, so you can't afford this right now. I understand that, where you're at. There's a couple other ways to handle this, but if you don't do this, then what are you going to do? Right? Now, if someone said to you, yes, I'm struggling. I've been at $2,000 to $5,000 a month in my business for 5 years, and I can't travel anymore. I'm worried my parents are getting older. The kids are getting older. Toys are getting more expensive. Now they're buying computers and video games and this stuff. I can't afford it. You want to help them, feel that pain. Well, can you remember the last time you were in Walmart and your son or daughter picked up a video game and you said, I can't afford that? I mean, right now I want to cry because that would kill me. Right? I would do anything and everything I possibly can to get that game for my child. Right? Now, this is not to spoil them, but if there's something that they want and you can't give it to them, you owe it to yourself to do whatever it takes to change that situation. So if you ask them, if you don't do this, then what are you going to do? Then they got to think, well, okay, well, I can't afford this, but if I don't do this and figure this out, what am I going to do? Where am I going to be? It's like, oh, wow. Well, I guess I do really need this. Right. So anyways, do you like that one?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying there. And I know my coach has put it to me this way is what's your plan B? Kind of like, what are you going to do if you can't do this? What are you going to do? What's your plan B? And then they're kind of like, okay, I don't have a plan B. Okay, well then we got to make this work. We got to make this work.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Then, don't you owe it to your kids to figure this out or make this happen today? Yeah, I guess I do. Okay, well, let's figure this out together. Because, I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. You are a salesperson. Your number one job as a coach, consultant, or expert is a salesperson and then marketer, right? You have to know how to sell your services or you'll never be able to help anyone. So you are a salesperson, and your job as a salesperson is to help people. So you want to help them through that objection. Say, okay, great. Let's maybe you're out of time and you got to say, okay, well, let's jump on the phone in an hour and I'll spend 15 minutes with you and let's figure it out. Let's find a solution. And this, this develops trust. They don't think you're just after their money. You really sincerely want to help them. And that's what you're all about, right? You want to get them in your program or sell them your course because you know that you can help them create that lifestyle that they want. So you're really doing them a service if you help them through this. And you really have to believe that and feel that. If you're just trying to do it as a manipulation or a persuasion type tactic, it's not going to work. You really have to come from a place of caring for these people. So that's one way to handle it, and help them figure it out. Say, okay, do you have credit cards, right? Is there anything you can sell? Can you pick up a part-time job? Whatever it takes to get there, because it's not a permanent thing. It's a temporary thing to, advance your life, advance yourself. So
just to help them be resourceful is what you're saying, from a place of coming from caring, committed and concerned to them, because you've spent, by that point of the call, you've already spent 45 minutes on the phone with them. you've really established that rapport, is what you were talking about earlier. So it's not just, hey, let me get my hands in your pocket. It's, you know, we're here with you to fix this. And if you're dedicated and committed and they're dedicated and committed that your solution is going to solve their problem, then you owe it to them to go the distance. And so let's do a really quick talk about some of the ways that people can be resourceful, because I know that that's one of the things that I know I'm an expert at. But you kind of hit on that a little bit. You know, can you sell something or whatever? But most of the people out there have credit cards, or they have a fund that they're just kind of saving for a rainy day, but they have credit cards, and so but they might be already tapped out. So, you know, they can split it into different credit cards. You know, if you're a coach out there, make sure that you have different ways for people to pay you. They can pay PayPal, they can pay PayPal credit, they can take multiple different credit cards. They can, you know, do different things. They can call their bank and ask for a credit line increase. You know, most people, if they've been like over 6 months or so since they've had a card, then they can call their bank and get an increase. And we even have a lot of resources available for our clients, where even people that have had bad credit, you know, that they can find a way to get what it is that they want. You know, I've shared that one of my businesses as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur now for 10 years, and I'd even filed for bankruptcy, and I was still able to get credit to work with the mentor that I needed to work with whenever I was launching my business. So, you know, you can't deposit excuses.
That's right.
You can find a way.
That's right. It's a great way to put it. It's a great way to put it. So some of the other objections, you know, and again, you know, post them in there. I was actually trying to find the chat because I'm using the phone, but I'm looking behind it on the computer to see what comments are in there. If there's any. Fabulous day. Okay, cool. So I don't see any yet, I don't think. But some of the other objections that are pretty common are, so we got, I can't afford it. It's too expensive. I need to think about it. Need to talk to my spouse or whatever, my business partner, that type of thing. So another way to handle it, and you might know a little more about this, Myranda, than I do. I've used it in the past, but I don't use it a lot, just because I feel that it has been used a lot. It's a feel, felt, found objection handling. And that's where you don't obviously agree with their stuff, right? Whatever's stopping them. But you help them understand that you feel how, you understand how they feel. My clients or my customers or other customers or clients, I say something like, my best clients have felt that before. And what they found is when they got resourceful and they found the money, right? For example, with the money objection, it was the best decision they ever made in their life. They were able to do X, Y, and Z. And that's another reason why you want to learn stories that you can share with people in this situation. So you can say, oh, one of my best clients, Mary Sue, right? Whatever, felt the same way you do. And what she found was, when she took that leap of faith, or when she stepped through that fear, maybe they have a fear of spending the money, or maybe they got hurt in the past. She felt the same way because she had been hurt 3-4 times. Somebody took $50,000 from her, and she was so scared. But what she found is, once she did it with us, her whole life changed, right? Or once she did it with us, she was making $25,000 in 30 days. And, she was making $40,000 in 6 months, a month, and it was the greatest decision she ever made in her life. So wouldn't you like to, and then you can just advance. You can say something like, so wouldn't you like for that to happen to you? Yes. Okay, great. So how would you like to get started today? Would you like to use a Visa or MasterCard?
Yeah, what you just said right there is a great point. Is you say something and then bring it back to asking for the sale again, kind of closing them into, you want it or you don't, get a yes or a no. It's not, oh, I don't know. It's kind of keep bringing it back to anything that whenever you're doing, like overcoming the objections, workshopping it kind of is what I say. Let's workshop that for a minute. And then it's really, like you just said, did you want to do, so how did you want to take care of that? Yeah. That's how you're bringing it back to the asking for the sale.
You're wanting to put the Band-Aid on, but they're fighting you for that Band-Aid, right? And you want to like go over here, try to put it on, go over here, try to put it on. You just keep coming back and attempting to put a Band-Aid on that gushing neck wound. I've heard you say before, Myranda, and somewhere where they have a bleeding neck wound, I think you said, or something like that, and you want to fix it, right? You want to block that and keep them from dying. But I know that sounds severe, but that's really how you need to make it, because you
Yeah.
got to get people through their stuff, and that's all objections are. Objections are just their stuff, their model of the world or whatever you want to call it, that's keeping them comfortable. That's our brain's job. It's designed to keep us safe and comfortable, even if it's really not that safe. Our brain will do things to trick us and make us feel that, okay, this is cozy over here. Don't spend that money, or don't do this, don't do that, and it's limiting your life, right? So you need to help them break through that, whatever that is. And like we talked about, asking questions and uncovering what that real problem is, and helping them through that is gonna get them to enroll or purchase, your program. So
Yeah, I think that's some great advice there, Curtis. Some great
thank you,
tips that people can use. And type in the
thank you.
comments if this resonates with you, or if you have any questions. We got about 5 more minutes here. We're going to be kind of wrapping it up, but I do want to, if you have anything, and we're going to be coming to y'all live here in the group, the art of attracting high ticket clients. And so if you have any questions, let us know.
Great, yeah, no, thank you. That was pretty much I covered, I think, everything. I just wrote some notes, when we talked about jumping on here real quick. So just to recap, while you're, anybody's thinking about objections you're experiencing, or maybe even share a situation you had. And if you don't want to do it publicly, I know that can be uncomfortable for people. Just shoot, Myranda or I a message, private message, and tell us your situation, what you're going through. We'll be happy to help you. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
But, remember, no rapport means no sale. Don't go try to close them on your program or sell them your product or service without developing that rapport and maintaining that rapport. It's going to be very painful for you. Let's just put it that way. Always under that umbrella of rapport is an easy way to remember it. You want to keep them under that umbrella of rapport so they feel like you care about them, you're there with them, you guys are connected. Yeah, I didn't have any other, those are the main ones. I can't afford it. It's too expensive. They're all pretty much the same. It's all, I have an excuse, right? And as Myranda said, you can't deposit excuses. So we got to help them break through those excuses. Trying to think, Myranda, can you think of any other, just off the top of your head, any other ways that you would handle objections? Or do you have an objection that you like to overcome for people, and how you do that?
Well, I'm an expert at a lot of things. This is
Yeah,
this is a learned skill. This is a learned skill for me. Sales is
yeah,
definitely not in my background. But what we do is in our program in the Business Coach Accelerator, we do teach our clients a excellent format that they're able to use. It's called the recipes. And what's great about it is that there are a lot of people out there that are super great at, even some people that are good at sales, they're not good at selling themselves. So selling yourself versus selling another program or selling a product or a car, it's a different skill. And so that's where in the Business Coach Accelerator, we do have our full training of enrolling high ticket, and we break it down into an easy to follow recipes, which each of the recipes stands for something. And the first one is, of course, the first way you started off, rapport is what the R stands for. And it really is just kind of staying in that position of rapport, and also maintaining the expert frame. I would say that a lot of the objections, or sometimes people say that they don't have time, for something, like, oh, I don't have time. Like maybe they're working 60 or 70 hours a week, or 80 hours a week, but it really is just kind of breaking it back down into, okay, well, this, what are you spending that time on? And if you've done the call correctly, you've already uncovered that they're spending their time on networking events that don't make any sense, that they're not getting any clients from. They're spending they're spending the time doing a bunch of blogs that aren't getting them any clients, or spending a lot of time creating a website that's not getting them any clients, or doing a lot of posting on social media that's not getting any clients. And so a lot of times, so then it's just, well, with all due respect, let them know that you hear what it is that they're saying. And with all due respect, this is actually going to be saving you time. So just kind of pointing out that the way that they're doing from what you told me, you're spending your time on this, you're spending your time on that, you're spending your time on this, and it's getting you to where you're on the phone call with me right now. It's not where you reached out for help. And this system, the Ninja Growth system that we help our clients implement, literally once you get it built, but if they stop doing that, most of our clients always stop going to networking events because they're not getting any results from that anyways. And they find that, implementing the system, they're much better spent. And then literally it's just pushing a button a couple of times a day. So I would say to handle that objection is just kind of asking the questions, and like what you were saying earlier, and just really pointing back out, reminding them of some of their pains that they've done, and also then letting them know how that solution is going to solve that problem, how time won't be an issue for them anymore. You won't have to say that's exact. Okay, there you go. Like what you just said about the reason why you can't afford it. If they tell you they don't have enough time, that's exactly why you need it. If you help them solve time, create more time, like what we did.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm going to say. That just like the money thing, if you can't afford it, then you must. Say if you don't have time, then you really need this program, right? And you can approach it that way. You can also say something like, well, how long do you want that to be a problem? Right? Because they want your typically, like that. People come to us because they want more time freedom. Most people get into coaching not to coach 1,000 hours a week, or 100 hours a week. They don't get into consulting or anything like that to just work more. They want a better lifestyle, especially coaches, right? Coaches, experts. They don't want to just work all the time. They want a better quality of life, and they want to help more people without having to kill themselves to do it. So when they say they don't have, they don't have enough time, there's a few ways you can answer that. But one of that I do like is say, well, how long would you like that to continue? How long would you like to not have more time in your life? Well, I want more time. Okay, great. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, you just told me you want time, right? You want more time with your kids. You want more time with your husband or wife. You want to go on vacations. And you're telling me you have no time. How long are you going to keep using that as an excuse? Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sign up right now. Okay. Right? So you're just calling them out on their stuff, right? And they're not even aware of it usually. It's just an automatic response that they always say. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the money, right? They probably say that to everybody, It's just a mechanism for them to not step up, right? For them to just stay where they're at. So yeah, how long would you like to continue to not have time in your life? Well, I want time. Okay, great. So let's get you started and get that time back for you. Okay, let's do it. Okay, do you see how that works? For some reason, my phone is low.
Yeah, I do. So I think that's great. I think that this is a lot of good tips. So just type below and let us know what your biggest takeaway was of this from this, and if you want to have more videos like this, and we'll be providing them to you. And if you are a coach or consultant and you're looking to attract more high ticket clients and be able to have more time and freedom in your life and business, and escalate your sales to 25,000 to 50,000 per month or more, working just 5 to 10 hours a week, then we can help you here at Ninja Growth Strategies. I have a business coach accelerator program that I run that we've been doing here now for over 2 years, where we help experts be able to get out there and launch, scale, or grow their coaching or consulting business in the fastest way possible. Right now, using LinkedIn with zero ad spend, and for just some nominal operation fees, and really be able to get out there in a big way and charge high ticket. So we have to charge more, go from charging $500 to $5,000 or more. Oh good, yeah. Curtis just posted a link to some of our testimonial videos that we've got. We're doing new ones of those all the time. So if that is something that you're interested in and you want to, move forward, then reach out. You can schedule a coaching business accelerator breakthrough call with us. And that is at ninjagrowthstrategies.com/growth. I won't touch anything to try to type it in right now, but I'll post it in the comments below. It's at ninjagrowthstrategies.com/growth. And you can go there. You can schedule a time to speak with us, complete the short pre-call form, and we'll get on the phone with you. We'll find out what's working in your business, what isn't, where is it that you want to go, and we'll see if you're a good fit for the Business Coach Accelerator. We'll see if we know that the Ninja Growth System can help you achieve your goals and can help you get there, because we will. And if we don't know that in our heart, or we don't think that you're the expert that we can help with this, or we don't think that it's a good fit, just like what Curtis was saying, we're definitely not going to invite you into our program, because we don't want somebody coming in there messing up our results, or running around saying that, hey, the Ninja Growth System is helping me do this, and they're out of alignment or integrity. So we definitely do turn people away if it's not a good fit. But if we do believe that it's a good fit, we know that it is, and you're committed, then we'll do everything that we can to help you. We've got a lot of resources that we can help you tap into, and we'll do everything that we can to help you say yes to the lifestyle and the business and the impact that you're wanting to make with your gifts. And so that's, again, is at ninjagrowthstrategies.com/growth. So go there now. Any final words from you, Curtis?
No, yes, actually, I put the testimonials up there because I have a mentor, and he actually trademarked this term, and he lets me say it, believe it or not. It's called documentation beats conversation. So Myranda is documented in helping all these people, business coaches, experts from all walks, right? Consultants, get to that income goal, create that lifestyle that you really wanted when you got into coaching or when you became a consultant or expert. Myranda said, I've been in this business for over 20 years as a professional coach, but believe me, a majority of those 20 years was miserable, literally, because just constant struggle and having to network and speak and do videos and make blogs and just craziness, right? And you don't need to do all that stuff. When Miranda's going to show you that secret sauce or recipe, and you can see in the testimonials that I just posted there that it works. She's documented and actually helping other people do it. And I always now, I look for who's actually documented and helping other people. I'm not just going to listen to what they say, but I want to see that documentation that they're actually not only able to help themselves, which Myranda has done, but also help other people do the same thing I want. And Miranda's got the documentation right there. So go to the testimonials and read through them. They're not just written words. There's videos on there from, John Maxwell coaches and, certified coaches, action coaches, all kinds of different coaches and, things like that. So they're there. You can take a look at it. Like Myranda said, reach out to us, schedule a call with us. We can help you create some major clarity in your business. If you're kind of confused or lost, we'll help you create that clarity on that call. And you'll have a clear plan of what the next steps are, whether it's to work with us or not. You might not be a fit. Like Myranda said, we don't just invite everyone in. But if you are the right fit, we will invite you in. But we'll help you create that clarity, help you put that plan together. So when you do get off the call, you'll have a very crystal clear plan of what the next steps are. You won't have to keep struggling. You won't have to keep guessing, what do I do? You're going to know, whether you do it or not, you're going to know what you need to do. Because the worst place to be is being confused and lost and not knowing what to do. So from those calls, from that call, you're going to know exactly what you actually now need to do to get where you want to go. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, clarity on, because a lot of coaches are charging just way too little. They're doing strategies that are not working. So in that free call, then we're going to help you. What should you be charging for that? Who should you be targeting? How can you get the right people on the phone with you? So that way you can start using some of these objection handling techniques that Curtis covered with us today. So we would love a chance to speak with you if you are if you're a new coach or you're currently already in it right now and you're not having the success that you want, you're wanting to take your business online. Go to ninjagrowthstrategies.com/growth. And yeah, be sure to check out some of those client testimonial videos, and we would I'd love a chance to help you. And that's about all we got, all the time that we got here right now on this Thursday. And so if you're watching this on YouTube or watching it somewhere else, just be sure to like and subscribe to us and share it, and check out The Art of Attracting High Ticket Clients on LinkedIn. And yeah, sign up to speak with us. It's a free call at ninjagrowthstrategies.com/growth. And it's been Myranda Love here, the CEO and founder of Ninja Growth Strategies, here with our expert guest and one of our lead sales coaches here at Ninja Growth Strategies, Curtis Phelan. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep,
Phelan?
Yep, Phelan. It's a New England.
Phelan.
In Ireland, it's Phelan.
I just call you Coach Curtis.
Everyone calls me Coach Curtis. Thanks so much, Myranda. We look forward to helping you guys. Thanks for your time. We'll do more. This was a quick little, just jumping on. But if you want more, we'll do more. So just reach out to us or just comment or message, and we'll help you out.
I think it's great. Yeah, book that call with us as well at ninjagrowthstrategies.com/growth. And we will talk soon. Bye.